All right, so it's a bit of a special episode today because it's our first guest that's going to appear on League 365, and we're joined today by former Sharks and Parramatta enforcer, Adam Ritson. Hello, mate.
Hello, gentlemen. How are we?
We're really good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, looking well.
Appreciate your kind words.
Yeah, so just a little thing, me and Adam have been mates for a long time, back in the days of probably Kurilla Golf Club, when we were having to hit a golf down there.
He used to steal me balls on the putting green.
Yeah, well, I wasn't stealing them. No, you just couldn't make a putt. No, that was it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so we've been mates a long time, me and Adam. And we thought we'd get him in today, talk about his career and a few other little bits and pieces and what he's up to these days and stuff like that. So we might start, Adam, how's your health these days?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. Everything's right. I was suffering from epilepsy for a while, but that's pretty much controlled by medication. I haven't had a seizure for a while, so everything's good.
Yeah, awesome stuff, mate. Now, just looking at your career, you started at the Miranda Magpies at a young age. You spent, 8 or 9 years there? Or
Yeah, a long time ago now, probably 6
Yeah,
years.
and then you ended up at Engadine?
I didn't play many games for Engadine. When Miranda folded, I went to Engadine. I played, as I said, a couple of games, and I was playing SG ball at the time, and so I had a few games there, and then was graded at Cronulla.
Yeah, so how did that end up happening, Rick? When you got graded at Cronulla, who tapped you on the shoulder to say come down?
What happened, I was playing SG ball, and at the end of the season, I can't remember who said come and sit on the bench for the under 23s it was back then, and I got a game, not sure how long for them, and then Arthur Beetson said sit on the bench for first grade, and I got probably 10 minutes at the end of that game, and then they said, next year, start with a grade and train on the off season, and things went from there. Yeah,
do you remember who was in that side at that point? Like, you got any names that were kind of in that Cronulla side at that point? ET?
Yeah, ET was there.
Yeah.
Mark McGaw, I think.
Yeah.
I've made it a long time ago.
The old Gladiator?
Yeah.
What was his name on Gladiator? Anyone?
Hammer.
Hammer? Yeah. Was that? Yeah.
I'm not sure he was, but yeah, as I say, it's a long time ago. I struggled to remember last week, let alone 20 years ago.
Yeah, you do owe me that 50 too, remember, from last
week? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Again, still.
Yeah.
So, 93, Adam, you make your NRL debut, or rugby league first grade debut, at the age of 16. Arthur Beetson gives you your first grade debut. Take us through, what was that like at such a young age to be obviously given your first grade jersey by a legend of the game?
Yeah, well, it was an amazing time. Just you sit there, not long before you're down at the park sitting on the fence cheering them on, and it was amazing that time. When they asked me to come and sit on the bench for first grade.
16, still a teenager, playing against grown men. What was that like? Did you love the physicality? Were you a bit scared going in, or you just wanted to rip in?
No, not at all. I just wanted to rip in. I was never worried about anything. I just treated them as players I've been playing with at the junior reps and stuff.
Yeah, so you made the junior Kangaroos too. I hadn't jotted that down, but you did make the junior Kangaroos too, and I'm sure that Chock Mundine and who else was in that side that you played with?
Ben Walker, perhaps.
Yeah.
There was a few players that said me memory's not the best.
Yeah. But Chock was there, wasn't he?
Chock was there.
Yeah.
We played under 19s, I think it was the junior Kangaroos, what they call that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. There was schoolboys and under 19s, but I think Chock and Benny Walker.
Yeah. No one else?
I can't.
With Chock, what's the memorabilia of Chock in the background actually? But Chock, what's Chock like as a bloke? When he was boxing and that, was he different off the field?
Yeah, it was very different. I think he put on the show for the cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
Comes across as a bit arrogant, but nicest bloke in the world.
Yeah, well, I remember you had told me a story not long ago, like maybe 12 months ago, that you were at the servo one day. And he saw you at the servo and he come running over and said, "How are you, mate?" And you were surprised.
I was surprised you even remembered.
Yeah.
He's a world champion boxer, and I hadn't seen him for years. And he come over and said, "Hello, Adam, how are you?" And I was, I was a bit chuffed, to be honest with you.
I think he gets a bad rap, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets a bad rap, and I think it's more promoting himself, and he's happy to be that bad bloke to get the publicity.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Now, Johnny Lang, after you debuted for City, you were under Johnny Lang in '94. He come down from, I think, Brisbane East or something like that. He come down with Paul Green and Knuckles Greenhill and stuff.
Andrew Neve and Adam.
How was he to play under?
Yeah, well, he was a terrific coach, as you can see by his record.
94, you get chosen City Origin team. What was it like to play with, obviously a lot of players that would have been pushing for New South Wales selection or even played for New South Wales before? And was Origin at the forefront that year, or were you just happy to be playing representative footy?
Well, you always hope that you get that call, but it was amazing just to be playing in the Origin, the City Origin side, without the Super League players. But you didn't think of that at the time. You were elated to be playing a representative match.
All right, so the Super League, this was a big one, the Super League, Rhett, because you were one of the main men involved. And I actually remember a press conference that you were involved with Fatty, and if you haven't seen this press conference on YouTube, you gotta have a look at it. It could be the funniest thing on TV when the reporter's trying to wrap it up and Fatty's trying to wrap it up and the reporter wants to ask another question and Fatty calls him a fat heap of shit.
Oh, it was Piers Ackerman, wasn't it?
Was it Piers Ackerman, was it? Oh, man.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you get on YouTube and search it. It could be the funniest thing on TV. But back to Super League. How did that all unfold? You're in Perth, I think, when it all went down. I think you were playing over there in Western Regs or something. Yeah. How did it all go down?
As I remember, they got us into a room afterwards, and they said, sign here. They give us I can't remember, maybe a $10,000 check to sign on there and there.
You left the no off that.
Yeah, no, well, but this was before all the big money came.
Yeah.
And I was only young, and I said, listen, I want to speak to my manager. And I tried to ring him, I couldn't get in contact. And my father got on the phone and helped speak to the different people. And they said, well, if you take the check and you bring it back by Monday, let's say 9 o'clock, you're pretty much free to go. So I got in contact with my manager the next day, and that's when all the names started rolling, and he organised for me to. I think we met with Jamie Packer, perhaps, and as I said, next thing you're hearing, people are signing on for a quarter for me, and there we are as players. We're on like 10,000 a year or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and so obviously Chimes is your manager, Steve Gillis, and your mum and dad were the main ones that helped you with that decision to actually sign with ARL and
excuse me. At the time I didn't know what to do, and I wanted to speak to Chimes first, and they got us, as I said, they got us all together over in Perth so they could get at us, I suppose, without speaking to managers.
Yeah.
And, being young, I didn't know what to do, and they were good enough to say, listen, if you bring the check back, you're kind of free to go. And one thing led to another, and all the big war that was on at the time. And
yeah, good stuff, man.
96 rolls around, you sign with Parramatta, the Eels. Sort of, how was that change from going from the Sharks to Parramatta?
Yeah, well, as a kid, I used to follow the Eels. When I started watching them, they were playing in the grand finals against Canterbury, and I was always a Parramatta fan. And it was ironic that I ended up there when the Super League stuff happened.
Yeah, nice, cool.
Just a quick one off the top of your head. What do you make of the Eels at the moment? Where do you see them at the moment?
No, they've promised so much. Well, not so much these days, but there was years gone by. They were always favourites to win the comp, and they never got over the line, and they're a bit disappointing to watch. But you always like to see them go well.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so we're going to do just a real quick Q&A, just so real quick questions. I'm going to throw at you, or we're going to throw at you. So the first one is hardest man that you played with, and when I say hardest, like toughest and yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to say probably Les Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that when you're out there playing with him, you didn't have fear. Like, you knew if something happened, he was there to look after you.
Yeah.
I always remember a game, I think it was the 2-ish challenge, where we used to go all over the place, Coffs Harbour or something.
Yeah, the pre-season one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I remember something happened, and Les and Jason Stephen got in a bit of an altercation. I remember Les just ironed him out one hit, and he was out flat on his back. So
yeah.
You never were really scared when you had him alongside.
Yeah, fair enough. I've seen you hit the bag. You hit them all right. Yeah? They stay hit when you land one.
I appreciate your kind words.
Yeah. Off the back of that, Who was the best player you ever played with?
Yeah, well, that's a tough question. There's so many great players. I played with Jim Dimmick and Andrew Enninghausen. I might have played with Brad Fittler in the city side. There's so many great players out there. So it's hard to put your finger on one.
On one, yeah. Of course.
Well, don't sit on the fence.
Oh, there's a bloke from Guy Mere, bloke named Justin Ferguson. He's one of the greats you'll ever see.
Thanks, mate. Okay, so these days, mate, I'm looking at your shirt you got on.
My small shirt.
Your small shirt. I'm tipping that you're involved with Bear Bet. What else are you up to, man?
I just work for a bookmaker of a Saturday, Mark Alardi, and we work a Saturday at the races, and during the week I'm working for Bear Bet. A mate of mine started a company, Bear Bet, and us all being punters, we try and look after the punters, unlike a lot of the bookmakers out there.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so we've got a few viewers that have sent some questions in. So I'm just going to shoot them at you. So we've picked these up through in the week. So this is from Brad from the Gold Coast. We've kind of touched on this, but he wants to know how important it was to have a good manager when the Super League thing broke.
Yeah, well, my manager Chimes was terrific. When I rang him and this Super League stuff hadn't really happened, but it was just coming out, he met me at the airport when I got back, and he organised me to meet Jamie Packer, and everyone was signing with different players, but he was terrific. He was at the centre of it all and really looked after me.
Yeah. He's got his own podcast too, hasn't he, Chimes?
I believe he has. It might have been a bit dirty on me coming on here, but...
Well, we paid you the big dollars.
Yeah, I know. I'm just waiting for it to hit the bank, that's all.
Yeah. It's coming. Okay, we've got another one. This is Terry from Goulburn. He's got a few things he wants to ask. Number one is thoughts on the kickoff. So you would have been one of these forwards that probably did the first hit up of the game and stuff. What are your thoughts on that they are trying to get rid of it, or they're trying to do things to try and stop that first collision? What do you make of the whole situation?
Well, I think that's part of rugby league. The collision, that's what we all like to see. I can understand that they're trying for player safety, but, how good is it when someone runs as hard as they can and these blokes come up and try and smash him? I know as the player running into him, you love the collision. You love the collision, and you want to run over the top of them if you can.
Yeah, fair enough. And he also, the other one, this is a real interesting one, this one, and I've noticed this myself, and Terry's mentioned about when blokes get a head knock and the independent doctor comes on, checks them, and then they play on for a set or two, and then they get taken off. What are your thoughts on trying to get rid of that? Do you think that needs to be looked at? Because that could be quite dangerous. Yeah. Especially, just before you answer that, especially after the Eli Katoa incident in the World Cup the other day, where he got knocked out in the warm-up, played, then got knocked out again, and then ended up in hospital with a brain bleed. Yeah. So this, to me, really needs to be looked at, but interested on your thoughts.
No, well, for sure. When I actually got a head knock, I didn't really know what was going on. I woke up probably 3 days later without knowing anything. But the doctors have got to make a decision that whether the player, they've got to act more cautiously, I believe, and not leave it to the player to say, no, I'm fine. Excuse me. Because when at that time you don't know what you're doing, and they should, you got to protect the player, because you never know what might happen.
Do you think kind of any head knock that needs the independent doctor to look at them, they should just be instantly straight off without even giving them a chance to pass that little on-field assessment? Yeah,
and then, get reassessed on the field. This day and age, the athletes are amazing, and, they're bigger and stronger and faster than ever before, and they don't want to come off. I understand that, but they've got to have someone to make that decision.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, next question comes from Dog from Miranda.
This will be good.
I'm assuming that's a nickname, not a first name.
Just call me Dog, don't call me Stuart.
The mail is you're a good golfer when you're younger. Do you still get out for a hit now and then?
Well,
how do you go?
I could never play golf, to be honest with you. I used to love the game, but I was never good enough. There were a lot of people better than me, like Justin himself, who was one of the greatest Carrilla Golf Club's players of all time. But as I say, I used to love playing it, but I don't play too often now. if you're not good enough, just quit. I say.
Yeah, that's good advice for the young kids out there.
Let's hope that is a nickname dog too.
It's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good one. All right, and now we've got our last viewer question. Is Benny Lewin from Bradbury? Where's Bradbury? The only Bradbury I know is Stephen.
That's out near Campbelltown.
Is it?
It's named after the great ice skating
genius Stephen Bradbury. Yeah,
I think it's out, not far from Campbelltown.
Oh, it's out that way. Okay, so this is Benny Lewin from Bradbury. He's got a few too to go. He asked, how do you reckon you would go in today's game? Obviously, you at your best when you were coming through. How do you reckon you'd go in the way the game is today?
Yeah, I couldn't say. I don't remember how it was, but I think I was a lot fitter and stronger back then. But these blokes this day and age, they're amazing, the athletes, and all they do is train. So it's definitely a faster game these days. So I'm fatter, can't do it now.
Yeah, all right. So that's basically it. There is just one question that Benny wanted to ask as well, and I'm actually really curious at this one, and it's a very simple question. And no sitting on the fence, eel or shark?
Well, to be honest with you, I've been an eel all of my life. When I was a kid, started watching football. The Eels were always playing in the grand final, and some blokes at school were Canterbury supporters, and others of us were Parramatta. It was ironic I ended up at Parramatta, but as a kid, I always followed the Eels.
So you're a shark?
Well, pretty much. I started at the Sharks, always lived in the area.
Yeah, but you're an eel. At heart, you're an eel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, all right, good stuff.
Especially last year, Rito, a lot of the talk in the media from the journos, especially blokes that didn't play, they're worried about the head collisions, they're worried about the head knocks with the players, which is fair enough. We've got to look after the player. I get that. But this talk around getting rid of the kickoff or limiting collision, do the players actually go into the game or after the game? Are they actually worried about injury or copping a head knock, getting concussed, or are the players just out there happy to play, happy to take the risk that they signed up for?
Yeah, well, as a player, you just want to get out there and do your best. You're happy for the collision, you chase the collision. It's a tough one, but I believe the players have to be looked after as best they can, but starting to change rules and stuff like that, I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah.
But if a player were to get knocked down, they need to, the duty of care and look after him as good as possible.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. In the modern game, there's a lot of great props that are playing. You got Haas, you got James Fisher-Harris, Tarpany. In your opinion, who's the number one front row forward in the game today? And how would they go back in your day as well?
As you say, there's a lot of great props in the game, but I look at Payne Haas. He's big and strong, and he runs all day. They're amazing athletes these days. But James Fisher-Harris is a great player too. There's probably not one standout. They're all terrific players, and they're fit and strong. Back in my day, we were fat and slow, but it was a different game back then.
Of course,
we weren't quite as fit as them. We did a lot of weight training and knew that, but these blokes these days just run the whole game through, and they're amazing.
Yeah, just one question off the cuff, Rito. Give us a rundown of what your week would have been like training wise. Like, you see what they do these days. It's dead set. They're in there at 6 and they're leaving at 4. What was your week like leading into a game? How did it kind of go? How long were you training for? How long were you doing weights for? And how did it go?
Well, back in my day, we'd train probably every day. We'd do weights most days. Nothing like they do these days. They train all day. We just do a couple of hours at night, but most days, and then play on the weekend.
Yeah. Okay. So it was similar, or just not as intense, or
not as intense as I said. We'd just train for a couple of hours at night, probably maybe 2 or 3. I've no idea. It's a long time ago. My memory shithouse. So.
Yeah. Well, that's. Oh, I was just thinking, geez, obviously we were good mates back when you were playing at Crow. You spent a lot of time in the tab in the day. I have to say, I don't know when you were training.
Well, they tell me that's where the value is. And I was running off a couple of pretty hot dog greyhound tipsters, and most like yourself.
Yeah.
So we've got to make an earn somewhere.
Yeah, fair enough, mate.
All right, looking ahead to the 2026 season, Brito, who do you like to take out the premiership? I know it's 12, 18 months away, but who do you like?
Yeah, I couldn't put my finger on one team. I'm always hopeful Parramatta go well, and I know Jason Riles has, got a good base out there, and they're starting to come good, hopefully. So maybe they'll do someone. But the Warriors are always dangerous. They've got Luke Metcalf coming back, and they've always been a dangerous side. So who knows what they might do this year.
The Warriors,
Yeah, they were good last year.
They were good last
until
year.
Metcalf got hurt.
Yeah, well, we spoke about this last week, and we're going to touch on something we spoke about last week with the Warriors a bit later. But yeah, that's really interesting that you like the Warriors. It's with Metcalf coming back. I said last week, Barnett coming back, he did his ACL as well. That's massive too. Like getting them two back into that side, So yeah, interesting. But
well, they competed very well last year, and these two blokes can only strengthen their side.
Yeah, all right, Adam. Thanks again for coming on, mate. Hopefully, we might try and get you back on the show maybe early next year or just before the season starts, and get some expert tips from yourself and the boys from Bearbet.
Yeah, well, Bearbet will look after you. They always look after the punters as best as possible, and with Bearbet you'll always be paid, and there won't be any problems.
Yeah.
But my tips aren't necessarily the best, but we'll try our hardest.
Right. And we'll give you double for coming on next year.
Double, jeez.
0-0.
0-0. Double or nothing is pretty good.
Well, 2x0.
Surely you can't knock that back.
No, unbelievable.
Yeah. All right, thanks again, mate, and be good, and see you around.
Thank you, gentlemen. Absolute pleasure to be on such a fine program as you yourselves run. So thank you very much.
Yeah, pleasure.
Sweet. Thanks for coming, Ritter.
Thank you,
thanks, mate. Okay, so we're up to the segment of the show now, which is the viewers' Q&A. So we've had some viewers ask some questions that we're going to touch on today. But the first thing I want to touch on is something we spoke about last week that got a lot of reaction on TikTok, was it? I think it was on TikTok. Got a lot of reaction. And it was the signing of Lockie Khan-Pereira at the Warriors for next year. Now, I just want to say to start with, we didn't... There was some comments that mentioned about his defence. We didn't touch on his defence. All I was trying to make the point was they lacked a lot of speed, and he actually gives them that speed, Jax. And the one thing about speed, right, is it can't be taught. You've either got it or you haven't. It's as simple as that. Now, with his defence, the people that did write about his defence you're right, his defence isn't great, but you know what? Defence can be worked on. Yeah. Right? It can be worked on, it can be improved. There's a few examples. Kyle Lero at Cronulla was left in Newtown by all reports for a long time because his defence wasn't great, and he's come into the top grade now, and barring Stephen Crichton, he'd have to be up there as one of the best defences in the comp. So with Lockie Khan-Pereira, the speed's there, guaranteed. The defence can be worked on. So he can definitely improve. He's never probably going to be the best defensive winger in the game, but definitely that part of his game can improve.
Yeah, one of the guys commented, he referred to DWZ, his defence as well. And I 100% agree. His defence last year wasn't great as well. One thing they seem to be teaching the wingers the last probably 5 years is that up and in defence. They very rarely, man-to-man anymore. For some reason, they're taught rush in hard and fast and try and shut down the centre before he gets the ball to the winger. I don't know why. And that contributes to a lot of wingers being open and scoring. Yeah. I don't know what your take on the up and in defence with the wingers are, but yeah.
Well, mate, the thing that does drive me mad with wingers is they lack trust in their centre. Like sometimes they just come in, and there's some that do it worse than others. And Ronaldo's one. He's done it ever since he's been in first grade. He just does not back his centre. He just doesn't back him, and he'll shoot in, and it's too late before he turns. And Khan-Pereira's similar. Khan-Pereira's done that. He gets caught in no man's land. But they need to actually back their centre in. Like, I know sometimes they've got to come in because they get caught short. They've got to come in and try and shut it down. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But when it's 2-on-2, that winger needs to back his centre to make the tackle.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. You see too many times that the winger's unmarked and they just score.
Yeah.
One thing a lot of the guys were saying on that TikTok with Lockie Khan-Pereira was the depth that the Warriors now got, especially in the outside backs. Years gone by, they didn't really have too much depth. Now you look at it, there'll be blokes competing for positions. You got Chance, Tain Tuapiki that we touched on last week. Adam Pompey's there. Ali Leotal came through this year and looks like a gun at centre. DWZ, Lofrican Pereira, Rocco Berry, Adam Pompey. Like, there's plenty of depth there in those outside backs, which I don't think they used to have. And a few of the fellas on the TikTok commented that, and I thought that was a good pickup as well from them.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I just... to me, I look at them blokes. I see all them blokes, and I did mention this last week, like Berry and even Ali Latatiti that came in. They're all big and they're all robust, but they don't have the speed. And I think you need a finisher with speed, and he's got it. So to me, I don't care what they do. He has to be one of the wingers. He has to find a spot on the wing for me to give him that extra X factor and speed. Work on his defence, obviously, but to me, he needs to be a winger in that side.
Roger plays where?
I don't know. It's too hard a question to answer, but it's, again, Roger's another one. His speed, he's not quick. There is just no one in that back line that has that bit of X factor that really, like, to me, I heard Roger Fabry talk about that he put $10,000 up for anyone that could beat Jason Saab in a 100-metre race. I'd love to know if he's actually seen Lockie Pereira run, because to me, Saab might be the quickest, but geez, Pereira, if I was going to back anyone that could beat Saab over 100, it'd be Pereira.
They need to do that race 100%. The on final day.
I'd love
100-metre sprint.
Well, who would you have there? If you got, to me, you have Saab, you've got Pereira.
Yeah.
Who else you got?
I think the Fox makes the starting.
I think he makes the starting. He's
probably not as quick as he was, but he's still lightning.
Yeah. What about the Hammer?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Coates, maybe.
Yeah, Coates. Over 100.
He doesn't look fast.
Walsh is no good. He over 50, you'd have Walsh, but he's just going to get eaten over 100.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so, but, geez, I'd like to see Pereira.
Yeah, 100%.
In it, because when he gets into the clear, he's like the Hammer. He just glides, and it's just, he's just so good to watch. But just touching on that, I just think they need to find a spot for him, and I hope they do, because I think he could be the X factor they've missed. So don't know if they'll win the comp though, as Rito said earlier in the show. I can't see him winning the comp, but you never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the next one, mate. Zac Lomax. Obviously, this just broke late yesterday afternoon, that he's been let go out of his 4-year deal with Parramatta. 1 year into it, it's obviously a fait accompli. He's going to R360. It's going to be interesting to see if Volandis holds his nerve here with the 10-year ban he's put on players. What do you think?
First off, with the Zac Lomax, I want to know who Braithen Astor gets his mail from, because he was calling that weeks and weeks ago. Zac Lomax won't rock up to Eels pre-season. He's hit the nail on the head. So obviously Brace got some good insight. With the R360, I just don't know how Volandis and the NRL legally can say that they can't go to a different employer. Like, if you look at it like a normal job, I don't know, unless it's already in their contract, which I doubt it would be, they can't tell them that they can't go and earn money elsewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
They haven't broken a contract. That's the loophole that Lomax and Pappenhausen have done. They've obviously got good relations at the club and they've been able to get a release, so they're not technically breaking any rules. Yes, does it look bad? 100%. Zac Lomax is breaking the contract. That's what he's doing. He's got a release to make it look like it makes it look good on his part, but he's gone 1 year into a 4-year deal and bounced to go and make big money playing rugby.
Yeah.
Like, you can't blame him. He has to go and take the money. Some of these players have to take the money. The career's short, but it looks bad, and it's a bad look for mine.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bad look. Look, it's a tricky one for me, because Jai Gray supposedly got offered somewhere near the 900 mark, and he's accepted 350 or something like that to stay at South. So the money didn't get him to go. And to me, someone like Jai Gray would be more entitled to go than Zac Lomax, considering Zac Lomax was on nearly 800 here. Yeah. Like, that's probably the only thing. But the 10-year ban, like, as you said, you're right. Like, Zac Lomax is not contracted, right? Because as soon as he's released, he's not contracted, right? So I reckon that's the loophole that they can come back, because he said anyone that breaks... Did he say anyone that breaks a contract?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so technically Pappenhausen and him haven't broken contract because they've been released.
But it looks terrible.
Why have Para released him? This is probably the question that I'd say most Para fans, why have Para released him?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's a good question. It's like
They might not want to stand in the way from a young bloke earning life-changing money. Like the money they're throwing at him by reports is USD $1.5 million, possibly tax-free as well, I read today.
Yeah.
Do Para really want to stand in the way of a young bloke going and making life-changing money? Maybe they don't. Maybe they've got the guarantee that if R360 doesn't work out, Lomax will come back.
What happens if four of them go to... What happens if Junior Paulo goes, Mitch Moses goes to Parramatta and goes, I want out, I'm going to... Do they draw the line somewhere?
Oh, of course. You got to draw the line somewhere. But right now, I don't think the line's
Is it a
drawn.
concern for the NRL? Like,
I think it is.
I think I'm starting to really think it is.
Especially with the expansion sides coming in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
When the Dolphins came in, everyone was talking about how the depth in the NRL isn't as big. Once you start losing your really superstar players, with 2 new sides coming in, possibly 3 with the 20th team by 2030, it is a problem. 100% it's a problem.
Yeah, I think losing Lomax and losing Pappenhausen is not the end of the world. But if Payne Haas goes on top of them two, then I think alarm bells are ringing.
I think alarm bells are already ringing.
Yeah.
You've lost one of the better fullbacks in the competition that was locked down at Melbourne, and he's gone, got up and left.
Yeah.
And then you got Zac Lomax, who's Origin Australia player.
Yeah.
We haven't heard from Zac Lomax in the off-season.
Yeah.
And he's been enticed to go to R360. I think it's a massive problem.
Yeah, I think it's a problem. I definitely think it's a problem. Not underestimating it's a problem, but you know what? Over the years, let's have a look back. Rogers, Saylor, Folau. Did anything really change with the game when they all went?
Not with that, but it's a bit different. You know, they weren't getting thrown massive money. You know, Roger and Folau went for the opportunity to play in, a Rugby World Cup, represent the All Blacks and the Wallabies. There is no opportunity to represent your country or play at a World Cup. R360, the union bodies around the world have said, if you play at R360, you're not playing in the World Cup next year. You're not representing the All Blacks. So why are they going there? Only for the money.
That's it, yeah. It's just money.
And you get to travel the world, see different countries. Their business model is they'll play in Madrid, they'll play in New York, Abu Dhabi, get paid massive money and play 16 rounds instead of 24 rounds. Really, you'd be silly not to contemplate it.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next... Well, before we move on to the next one, just 2 things I'll just wanted to ask you before we did move on. Number 1, who replaces Zac Lomax? Do they look outside the box or are they looking internally? So I'm thinking off the top of my head who would replace him. They've got Jordan Samrani there, who played a bit of back row, but he was an outside back in reserve grade and winger/centre. They've got...
Bailey Simonson.
They've got Bailey Simonson there, but he was off. There was some article late.
That's changed, I think.
Has it changed?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was something about him that he wasn't happy or something, wasn't there? And I remember reading something about that. And then there's raps on Richard Penasini, which is Will Penasini's younger brother. So I'm not sure where he's at. I'm not sure if he's... Or now they've freed up this money, do they look what's out there?
No, I think they'll be going within the club for outside backs.
Yeah.
I think that money that's freed up, and probably why they were happy to say to Zac, is they're going to probably go big at Keon Kalongmatangi. He's come out and said that he'll express his options. If a club throws big money at him, I think he could leave. I think Para will look to go after Keon.
Yeah, we're not a podcast that is going to thrive on too many rumours, but there is a little bit of a whisper around that Ruben Garrick might be on his way there.
Yeah, right. Okay.
A little bit of a whisper
It's a handy
around.
pick up.
Well, if it's it's only a little rumour, but it kind of fits the bill.
Yeah.
It fits the bill. That it's a bit of experience and
good player.
wouldn't surprise me if Ruben Garrick ended up there. No definite, but just see where that kind of lands. So anyway, let's move on. Now, during the week, the NRL draw dropped, and there's been some massive blow-ups from certain clubs, and then...
Yeah, well, South got stitched up.
South have been stitched up.
think
It
they
seems to be the clubs are getting favourable draws every year, and I have to say Cronulla are one.
Yeah, well, they've got a good draw again.
They get it every year.
Yeah, they only play 10 games against top 8 opposition.
Yeah, yeah.
And South, they play something like 14 games against top 8, like 7 against top 4.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, if you finish last, you should get the best draw. If you finish first, you should get the hardest draw. Brisbane have got a dream draw as well.
They?
Yeah, Warriors have got a good draw. And the sides that have got bad ones is Penrith have got a bad one.
Yeah.
But West Tigers, Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
Like, if I was a fan of West Tigers or Rabbitohs, I'd be...
Filthy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
How big of an advantage do you think it is, like, having a good draw compared to a bad draw?
If you're a fringe like top 8 or top 4 side, I think it's important because those extra wins, those extra games against lesser teams could be the difference between you making the 8 or making the 4.
Yeah.
And the origin scheduling as well plays into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so if you're affected by origin with 3 or 4 players and you're fighting for a top 4 spot and you lose a game that week that other teams don't have to play, then it could cost you a top 4 spot, which could cost you a real crack in the premiership.
Yeah.
I think they definitely... I know a lot of people whinged about the draw last year. I think they changed. I think AI did it this year, but they got to sit down and look at it and make it fairer.
Yeah. The thing with the draw, I look, last year's draw, when it come out, I remember people saying that this side had good, like, playing these many top 8 sides and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Who would have had the Warriors in the top 8, Canberra in the top 8 at the start of the season last year? So when you looked at the draw, if you were playing Canberra twice and Warriors twice, you're thinking that's good. But halfway through the year, you're thinking that's not good.
No.
So, like, it's all good and proper saying, looking at it now, they're playing top 8 sides, but you can guarantee the top 8 from this year won't be the top 8 next year.
No, probably not. You're right.
Yeah, so there'll be 1 or 2 sides that probably jump out of the woodwork. And halfway through the year, if you're playing them, you're probably thinking, shit, this is hard.
Yeah, but it makes a difference when the top sides get a favourable draw with the top 4 and the top 8 matchups. Right? Yeah. That matters, and it matters where the lower teams get top 8 and top 4 matchups. The middle of the road, it doesn't really matter if Roosters get more top 4 opponents than Dolphins. Yeah. They're in the middle of the pack. It happens when the top of the top get a favourable draw, a top 4 side gets a favourable draw, and a bottom 4 side doesn't get a favourable draw. That's where it's a problem. Yeah. Because they're 2 extremes of the scale. Yeah. Like, that's where I've got a problem with it. The middle of the pack, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. If Sharks play 1 extra top 4 side than the Roosters, it's not going to make a difference in where they sit. Yeah. But it makes a difference when the Premiers, Brisbane, get looked after with a favourable draw and South Sydney don't. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of South Sydney, but they've been gypped big time going in the next year. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The thing that I really have an issue with is the Magic Round, where Brisbane and...
Well, that's awful.
That is just... It can't be that hard, surely, to make sure Brisbane, Dolphins, Titans...
And Cowboys
get... It's their home game.
The worst is...
It's a debacle.
When Brisbane and Dolphins play away games to Sydney sides at Magic Round, it's a joke.
It's an absolute... I just can't believe...
It makes no sense.
I can't believe in this day and age that can't be fixed. Like, it can't be that hard.
They obviously have an agreement with the Queensland sides, the NRL.
It's so unfair to the sides playing them, it's not funny.
100%.
Like, I've been up there every year, and seriously, when the side's playing Brisbane, it's just like being at Suncorp on a Friday night.
It's a home game.
Brisbane.
It's a home game for Brisbane.
It's just ridiculous.
And Dolphins.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Okay, so let's move on. We've got a few more viewer questions. These questions are actually directed at us, mate. So we'll read them out and then we'll discuss them and we'll see how we go. So this is from Benny from Bradbury again. He wants to, and this is a really interesting one too. I find this, I've always had a problem with this, is third-party deals. Like, it's got to be a massive advantage, like, for these higher clubs, your Brisbanes, your Roosters and stuff, that get the massive third-party deals compared to the bottom sides that really struggle with third-party deals. It's got to play a massive advantage, doesn't it?
Yeah, you would think so, yeah. I'm not too I don't have too much expertise in the third-party deals. But, yeah, you would think that it'll affect, a player if they get looked after elsewhere, not just in the pay package, then yeah, definitely it could swing their deal. Yeah, a free car or whatnot, they'll definitely have to play on their mind.
Yeah, yeah. I think that the third party deals should be made public. That's how I think it should be. But I don't know how you can actually level the playing field out. You don't want to cap them because you want as many sponsors in the game as possible.
You just probably got to get better administrators at these lesser clubs.
Yeah.
To do the deals.
Yeah.
It is because professional sport is becoming, it's already a business worldwide and starting to become more of a business in Australia.
Yeah. So the clubs that really would have massive third-party deals would be, I'm tipping Brisbane would probably be number one.
Yeah, well, I think they bring in more money than most NRL teams.
Yeah, Roosters would be up there. I'm tipping Melbourne just because of the success they've had.
Yeah.
They're people are going to want to deal with them. But these bottom-ranked clubs, they must struggle. And this is why they can't get players to the club. I think plays a big part in it.
Well, yeah, which sides are you referring to? Because Tigers have been able to recruit recently. So have Sharks.
Yeah, but probably take Sharks out of it. I'm probably more leaning at Canberra. Really, I know it's probably not the greatest place to live and that, but Ricky did an enormous job with them. But seriously, they can't get a player down there to save their life.
Yeah, I don't think that's a reflection of third parties.
You don't think?
I think it's a reflection of people just don't want to go to Canberra.
You said the Tigers have got players there. Who are you referring to?
Well, Jerome, Suni and Taruva.
Okay, they paid Jerome 1.2 million.
Yeah.
That's what got Jerome there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
it's what I'm saying is that he's been paid way over. He's not a $1.2 million player, Jerome Luai. No way in the world.
Well, when he got that deal negotiated, he was definitely a $1 million player. We can look at last year and go now, Jerome's not a $1.2 million player, but he was Origin representative, 4-time premiership winning 5'8", steered them to that premiership. One of them when Nathan was hurt in and out the year. Yeah. So I think it's a bit. I know we sit there last year and watch and go, "Oh, Jerome's getting paid overs because he didn't have a good year." At the time where he negotiated the deal, I don't think anyone sat there and said Jerome isn't pushing a $1 million player.
Probably pushing a $1 million player. Big difference between pushing a $1 million player and getting 1.2. So to me, if a club like, just say Brisbane, come in at Jerome Luai and go, mate, we'll give you 800 on the books, but we'll give you 400 in third-party deals. That's kind of where I'm getting at. So Brisbane could have paid 800 to get him, where the Tigers have probably paid the whole freight, the whole 1.2 million out of their cap to get him, where other clubs with the third-party deals can actually offer him a lot less, but top it up with other stuff.
That comes into the club's performance as well. Mm. Players will take less to go to a club that's successful.
100%.
The West Tigers, respectfully, have been awful the last 10 years. Yeah. So they've got to pay overs to get these players. Yeah. Irrelevant of the third parties, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so what you think the third parties are not like a big talking point in the game?
I don't think they're a massive issue, no.
They're not a massive issue.
In my opinion, but I could have a bit of a
I tend to agree with Benny. Now, he's a Para fan. I'm not sure what their third-party deals would be like, Para.
They're a pretty big club.
You'd have to think they're a big club.
They've got plenty of sponsors.
Yeah, you'd have to think so. But I do feel for some of the lesser clubs. I do. But
win more games.
Hey?
Win more games. You'll get more players want to go there.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. Now, the other thing Benny wanted to talk about is a similar line, is cap relief for development clubs. Do you think we're in trouble if they do, because Penrith are going to be unbeatable? But do you think these clubs that develop players through the juniors, there is obviously very strong development areas. Obviously Penrith's one, the Shire's another one. They develop a lot of players. Do you think these clubs that are developing players and are losing them to other clubs should get relief of some description? If they keep them, if it's a junior that goes through into grade, should they get relief off their contract?
Probably not. I understand the argument. It's a good question to bring up. I just don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. I think that makes the...
Is that coming from a Rooster supporter or...?
No, it's just... Well, that goes back to... That keeps the competition... It keeps the good sides that can develop juniors stronger. Where I think it should be open.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it. It'll never happen.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a rookie draft where the team that finishes last gets to choose who they think is the best junior in the comp, irrelevant of what area they're playing in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that'll never happen in the NRL.
Yeah. Look, I think something needs to... I'm not saying that needs to be changed. I think it needs to be looked at because when I watch players get interviewed that are one-club players, and I'm going to go to the Trebojevic brothers straight away here, and the way they are with that club, I just think that them blokes, they've just said they will not play for anyone else. They will not play against Manly. Now, to me, you want that in your footy side. You want them people that have come through the club and they just bleed that club. And I think that when they get to, if they've spent 10 years there, come all the way through, I think there should be some kind of relief for them. Like, I don't think Tom should be paid by Manly what another club would pay him. I just feel that they should be given every chance to keep them there. And if that is some kind of relief because he is a junior and he's come through and that, I think it probably needs to be looked at. Yeah,
but once you start fiddling with, this person played 6 years at Manly, he can get relief. Oh, but this bloke played 4 years and 26 rounds. You're starting to get into like, all right, well, who deserves it, who doesn't deserve it? Is it fair, is it not fair?
Yeah.
I think if you just blanket rule it where, no, like, great that you develop a junior. If that junior wants to stay at your club, then that's up to the club to run a professional organisation and entice the player to stay. I think once you start saying, oh, you did well developing him and he stayed, you get a little bit of relief, but you didn't do as well, you don't get any relief.
Yeah.
I think once you start doing all that and there's no black and white rule, then people are going to whinge that it's unfair, like Benny is already whinging that it's unfair. But I understand the argument, I understand the question.
Yeah.
But I disagree.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the way it is.
Yeah.
The Trebojevics are not going to leave Manly anyway, irrelevant of cap relief or not.
And that's probably the point I'm making, though.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making. They're not going to leave, so why shouldn't they get some kind of relief? That's kind of, you don't, to me, you don't want, like, I'm just trying to think of someone off the top of my head that's gone somewhere this year. Well, Daly Cherry Evans is probably a good example. Would Daly Cherry Evans, I think Daly Cherry Evans left for other reasons. But if Daly Cherry Evans is Manly go, okay, you're 36, you're worth 800, but because you're a 10-year player, or I think there is some relief for 10-year players, but because we developed you from, I know he did come from Queensland, but we've developed you from a young age, you can be on the books for 400.
No, I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I think just leave it the way it is.
Yeah, okay, all right. Sorry, Benny.
But no, good question.
It was a good question.
It's definitely worth an argument. I personally don't like it, but I'm sure people would love what Benny's saying.
Yeah, I reckon clubs that are strong development-wise would love it.
Of course.
And the clubs that aren't wouldn't like it.
You're probably right.
I'm not looking at you.
You're 100% right.
I'm not looking at you. Okay. Okay, so the last thing Benny had to say, Benny's had some content today.
Yeah, he's loving it.
Benny, he's an Eels fan, obviously, as I mentioned before. Their premiership window, he wants to... He's been following them for a long time. He did message me this, that he'd been following them for ever since he can remember.
Yep.
And he wanted to know, is there a premiership in sight of the Eels?
There's the window's shut at the moment. Mm. It's not locked shut, but that window's still shut.
Is it opening or is it closing, though? Is it slowly opening?
I think it's slowly opening. Yeah. I don't think it's slowly closing, but they're not winning the premiership this year.
No,
in my opinion.
No, they're not winning.
They're a fringe top 8 side.
Yeah.
But they don't also, you can't waste a Mitchell Moses prime and not, and I guess they made the grand final not too long ago. Yeah. Players like that don't come along too often.
No.
So I'd be looking at recruitment and retention within the club, juniors coming through and who they need. I think if they can get I know we spoke about it earlier, if they can get like a Keon Kalamatangi, that'll help. But I don't see them challenging for a premiership this year. Yeah.
Two things I'll say about this topic from Benny. Jason Roll's very impressive for me. Very impressive. Anytime he spoke, at press conferences, every time you heard him speak, it would. If I'm a Para fan, that gives me plenty of hope.
Oh, they're definitely trending forward.
100% they're trending forward. And with him at the Realm, it's got Cameron Serrato vibes about it for me, Jason Rolls, where he took over Parramatta from, similar to where Serrato took over the Bulldogs. And you can just see that improvement coming with them. Now, when they made that grand final a few years back, Mitch Moses was there, but he's not the Mitch Moses he is today. Back then, he's a totally different player now. He was that running 7 off the cuff kind of player back then. He's now a dominant, if not the best 7 in the game.
That was a consistent top 8 side for many years. Top 4 side that was primed to make a deep run into the finals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mitch was there. Dylan Brown was playing career best footy up until his New Zealand stint recently.
Yeah.
You had Gutherson in good form.
Yeah.
Reed Marnie was playing good. Big forwards. It's a slightly different team. It's a younger team in a 2-3 years at the back end of Moses' career with a couple of extra pieces, maybe. Yeah. This year, I don't think so.
Yeah, they're definitely a few years away. I agree. Sorry, Benny, but there's no doubt they're a few years away. They're not getting close to winning it. To
keep this trajectory going, they need to make the 8 this year. Yeah. If they miss the finals again this year and waste another year, I know Moses has been hurt, but waste a player that is in his prime, that's an absolute once-in-a-generation player. Yeah. You can't be wasting these primes of these really good players. Yeah. Because premierships are hard to win. Yeah. Really hard to win.
Yeah. You look at their roster too, there's definitely holes in it. Like if you look through their roster, there's holes. There's areas they need to strengthen.
Yeah, definitely. But there's holes in nearly every side's roster, and that's only going to get bigger with 2 extra sides coming in.
Yeah. So sorry, Benny. We can't see a premiership coming in the next couple of years. Maybe 3 or 4 years, they might have developed into a side that can threaten for sure. But yeah, unfortunately, when that happens, Mitch Moses is probably on his way out because he is. He must be 30, 31. Mitch Moses now. Has to be.
He'd be late 20s, early 30s, definitely.
Yeah, has to be. All right, the last question for the pod today is from Greg from Rosebery, and it's a really interesting one. It's this fucking disruptor rule. Like, he's blowing up about it, and he's got every right to. Now,
it's the worst rule. It's terrible.
It has to be. Whoever come up with this should lose their position.
100%.
Like, it's an absolute debacle. Now,
how can you reward the bloke that drops the ball because another guy got in your way and distracted you? You're a professional footy player. Catch the ball.
I can't even believe we're talking about it, but
it's the worst rule ever created.
At the start of the season, it was horrendous what they were penalising. Blokes coming through and waving an arm and all that. So where does it stop, though, Jax? Where does it stop? Does it stop at... Are they allowed to go down and balk them with their voice? Like, go... Woo, like, is that going to be called a disruptor or...
I don't know.
It just got to go. Like...
They reeled it back, late in the year. I think they realised how ridiculous it was and they weren't calling it as much. You're getting the one every now and then that went up to the bunker. Yeah. But they weren't calling it that much. No, it's got to go. I don't even understand the reasoning behind having it.
Yeah. It has to go because when it did go to the bunker, that's when the problem started. Because it just took one arm to go up and if they think, well, he's not even trying to touch the ball, is he a disruptor? And by the rule coming in, they have to rule on it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know one person, and I mean one person that knows anything about the game that has said to me, oh, I like the rule. Not one. I haven't got one.
No.
Not one. No. So if there's anyone out there that actually agrees with this stupid rule...
Put a comment in the video.
And tell us why, because to Greg's point, I just don't... I can't explain it.
No, me either.
I can't explain it. It's got to go. Hopefully it will go.
It's rewarding errors.
Yeah, as long as you don't touch the bloke trying to catch it before he catches it or attempts to catch it, it's fair game. Like, it's fair game. You can do whatever you want. You can throw your arms up. You can yell out. You can do whatever you want. But
I agree.
But I haven't heard they're going to change it because they're talking about other rules they're going to change. But
I know.
I haven't heard them get rid of this. But you're right. They at the end of the season they were lenient on it, but you can't meet in the middle with it.
There's no sport in the world that loves to change their rules as much as rugby league or the NRL.
Well, let's talk about that because
every off season something gets changed for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, the big one they're talking about now is the
team that scores.
Team that scores is going to kick off.
Yeah,
now,
like in the NFL.
Give me a second with this, right? Because this is to level out the scoreboard, right? This is what they're saying to make it so the blowouts, it'll help the blowouts. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
So, yeah.
I think that's why they're trying to do it to level. But it's coming from the same people that brought in, right? They cut the wrestle out to make the play the ball quick, which is fair enough. The 6 against, they brought the 6 against in, right? This was all to quicken the game up. So what they've done, they've quickened the game up with all these new rules, and now the blowouts are happening. Now they're putting a rule in to try and stop the blowouts. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So they're trying to balance it.
They just need to leave the game.
Leave the fucking game alone.
Every off-season.
Every year.
Just leave it. If something's not broken, don't fix it. Is the kickoff broken? No, don't fix it. They're reactive. The NRL's reactive with what they do. Oh, this is a problem issue. All right, let's change the rule. Back with the 6 against. Oh, we need the ball in play. We don't want the ball to go dead. Okay, 7 tackle set. Well, now it's just crazy what some people get 7 tackle sets for.
Yeah. Yeah. The 7 tackle set, geez, we're going on to different topics, but the 7 tackle set, I hate the 7 tackle set. I like it in certain ways, but to me, you got to get rid of it as well, because you see these sides, they roll the ball in, they go an inch from scoring, touches a fingernail, and the side gets 7 tackles.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Jamie Soward was the one that started all this. Jamie Soward, I'm sure it was a game against Melbourne, and he played when he was at the Dragons, and
he was just launching it.
He launched it dead.
So Slater
even kicked
one or two.
Yeah, he just took Slater out, and he kicked it dead even on the full a few times, just drilling it dead, and that's where it all come from. It wasn't brought in for what they're getting 7 tackles for.
Or a missed field goal.
So my question is, why can't the referee actually make it go, say for instance, Jamal Fogarty kicks one from his own side of halfway and goes dead, and the ref thinks that could have been on purpose. My gut says he's meant to do that, but no, you just go to Jamal, listen, I'm just putting you on warning that, do it again, I might penalise you.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know, I just think something's got to change with the 7 tackle.
If you do that, you start putting too much power back in the ref's hands, which there already is too much of. Too many, Ashley Klein thinks it's this way, Grant Axon thinks it's this way. There's too many rules where interpretation is up for debate, and that's what pisses fans off when you see one week, that was given a try one week and that was given a no try the next week. The same thing will happen if you say, I think Jamal Fogarty kicked that on purpose. Maybe he didn't, maybe he did.
Yeah.
You can't have too many rules where it's up for interpretation of the ref.
It probably wasn't the greatest analogy that I came up with, but that drives me mad when there's a scramble for the ball, hits an arm, goes dead, and that side gets 7.
Yeah.
Drives me mad. I don't know what the answer is. Okay, let me throw a quick Q&A at you. 7 tackle set, stay or go?
Go.
Go? You don't want it either? 6 again, stay or go?
Stay.
Okay. Referees guessing on decisions in the way, do you think they should be able to go upstairs and go, listen, I did not see it, I have no opinion?
For a try?
For a try. Do you think they've forced into making a decision and sometimes they're guessing? Because I feel...
Well, I think they're forced. I think they give the try more often than a no try because they know that the bloke in the bunker will have a look and if he sees that as a no try, he'll be able to overrule it.
Yeah. So you don't think the ref should be able to go totally unseen? I cannot see, I saw nothing, touches have seen nothing, we have no opinion.
No, they probably got to give an opinion.
You think?
Because then if they take it upstairs and the bunker also can't make a decision, you're then getting a bloke that is sitting in a box overriding someone that's...
That's what's happening now, though.
Yeah, and I don't like it. There should be more power in the on-field refs than a bloke that's sitting in a bunker watching it on TV.
Yeah,
he's got to make a decision. He needs to be in a spot that he can see the ball down. It's literally what he gets paid for.
Yeah, I know, but it's not possible sometimes.
Well,
the pace of the game, it's not possible. Sometimes they make an 80.
His best. He's got to do his best to make a decision that he thinks is right.
But you're right. But that's the point I'm trying to make to you. The point is that if he does not know, he's guessing. Yes or no? He's guessing. He's guessing, isn't he?
Well, yeah. If he 100% does not know, then yes.
He's guessing. So why guess? Why guess?
Because that's the rules right now. He's got to make a decision.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say, that I feel that if they're going to guess, they're better off going, I have no opinion. Because, seriously, there's tries that, and you see it every week, where they can't overturn or they can't do the opposite thing because there's no vision. So, I don't know. I just feel that the part of it, sometimes you just think, well, he's just guessed there. And I just feel that, I don't know. I don't think they should be guessing if he's got it down or he's not. And I think they guess off the reaction of the player. I think the player gets up and sells it.
Yeah.
The refs, and I would too. If I'm thinking, oh, he's got it down for sure.
Yeah.
You know? So,
We could sit here and debate referees for hours on end.
Oh, yeah.
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 You're never going to get it perfect or right.
Won't be doing that. All right, guys. That's going to wrap us up for today. As I'll pass it to Jax, he's going to give you a thing on the socials again, what you need to do, because we need your support. This show's just going to get bigger and better every week, especially getting closer to the start of the season next year. We've got some massive guests coming on over the next few months. But I'll pass it to you, bud. You tell them what my social media. I'm too old for social media. You tell them what we need to do, what they need to do.
So yeah, once again, if you like what we have to say, or even if you don't like what we want to say and you just want to pay us out, then jump on, leave a comment on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe. Also, we're on Instagram and TikTok. Again, jump on there, give us a follow, like, comment, whatever you want to do. It's League 365 on all platforms. So get out there, give us a bit of support, and yeah, that'll do us.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week for episode 3 of League 365.